Hello guys, welcome back to another episode of Android application development tutorial. In today's episode we are going to learn about how to use the context menu with a list view in an Android application. You can use the context menu with any view components in an Android application, but generally the context menus are always using with list of items like a list view or a grid view. So here I am going to show you how to use the context menu to change the properties of an item in a list view. So open Eclipse and start a new Android project. So here I already created a project. So the first thing you need to do is to add a list view into the activity main.xml file. So go to the layout file. So here I am going to add a list view. Provide an ID for this list view, Android ID plus ID. I name it as list view. Okay, now set the layout for this list view, Android layout. Width is match parent, make it as match parent. Now set the height, Android layout height. Make it as wrap content. Okay, that's enough. Now go to the graphical layout of these. So now here we got a list view on the layout file. Okay, now go to the main activity.java file. Here it is action bar activity. We don't need that one. I just changed it into activity. So you need to import some package for activity. Okay, here there are two overrides method for the context menu. We don't need that one. I just remove that one. Okay. So now here you need to create an object of list view. So I add an object of list view here. List view. Okay. Now I am going to initialize that object. So list view equal to find view by id r.id dot list view, that is the id of the list view provided on the activity main.xml file. So you need to cast it into list view. Okay, so now you need to add some items into the list view, and you need an array adapter to create the views on the list view. So for that I create a list object. It is working with the strings, so the type is string and I name it as list. Okay, you can initialize that object here is equal to new array list. Okay, and for working with the list view you need an adapter. So I need an array adapter here. Array adapter, it is working with the string. Array adapter, I name it as adapter. Okay, so now you need to add some strings into this list. So list dot you have to add some items. So here I'm going to add some hardware components into this list. First monitor. Second one is list dot add keyboard. Okay, and again add some item using add method, keyboard, and what else, mouse. Add some more items, add motherboard. Okay, one more item, add list dot add hard disk. Okay, so now we add some items into the list. Now we can initialize the array adapter object. So adapter equal to new array adapter. First you have to provide the context. I give it as this. Now you need to provide the resource. So it is Android dot r dot layout dot symbol list item 1, and now you need to provide the resource. Here the resource is that list, so you have to provide that variable name here. The variable name is list. Okay, and okay, now we successfully initialize that adapter object. Now you need to add this adapter into the list view. So list view dot set adapter and pass that adapter object. Okay, now we successfully add a list view into the activity main.xml, and we set the adapter for that. We can check it out. So run as Android application, open your emulator. Okay, open emulator. Okay, now the project is launched. We got the list view on the activity main.xml file. Okay, now we are going to add a context menu for this list view, and here I am going to add an option to delete an item from this list view using the context menu. So for that you need to create a layout file on the menu folder. So here already an XML file is available. I'm going to create a new XML file, new Android XML file. I name it as main context menu. Okay, here we got the menu, here we got the root element menu, and click finish. Now we got that XML file. Okay, now you need to add an item into this menu. So I add an item here. First you have to provide an ID for this item, Android ID plus ID. I name it as delete ID. Now you need to provide a title for this item using title tag, Android title delete item. Okay. Okay, now go to main activity.java file. Now you need to register the list view with the context menu. So it is very simple. You just pass that list view object into this method called register context. Yeah, this method, register for context menu, and you need to pass that object of list view. Sorry, the view of that list view. Here it is, list view. Okay. Now you need to inflate that menu XML here. So you need to override some method called onCreateContextMenu. Yeah, this one, onCreateContextMenu. Okay, so for inflating this menu you need an object of menu inflator. I name it as menu inflator equal to get menu inflator. Okay, now you can inflate the context menu XML file using this menu inflator object. So menu inflator dot inflate r dot, first you have to provide the resource. Here it is, r dot menu dot main context menu. That is our XML file name, and you need to pass an object of menu context menu here. So we got it as an argument here, and pass the same argument here and put a semicolon. Okay, now you successfully register the list view with the context menu, and now the context menu is inflated whenever user perform a long click on an item on the list view. We can check it out. So I run the project again. So right click it and run as Android application, open emulator. Okay, now the list view is available on the main activity XML file. I make a long click on an item, so now the context menu is visible. The context menu contains only one item called delete item. So now whenever user choose this option, we have to remove that particular item from this list view. So for that you need to override another method here. that is called on context item selected. Yeah, on context item selected, that is that method. Okay, so now here we got an argument of menu item. So before going to do anything, you need to create an object of adapter context menu info. Adapter context menu info, I name it as info, equal to, use this argument item dot get menu info. Use this method get menu info. This is object, so you need to cast it into corresponding class. Here the class name is adapter context menu info. Okay, now you have to get the ID of the context menu item. So I use a switch case statement. Okay, now you have to get the ID of the item on the context menu. So item dot get, yeah, this is get item ID. This will return the ID of the item on which the user perform a long click. Now you have to check that using the case statement, case dot id dot, yeah, this one, delete ID. The ID of the item is delete ID, so you can use that one here, delete ID. So if it is delete option, you have to remove that particular item from the list view. That means you have to remove that particular item from the list. Here the list object is list. You have to remove that particular item from this list, and for that you can use this adapter context menu info object. So you have to remove that item. So list don't remove. Now you need to get the position. You can get the position of that particular item from the info, from this object. So info dot position. Okay, now you successfully remove that particular item from the list. Now you have to inform the adapter that you are recently remove a particular item from the list. So you need to refresh that particular adapter. So you have to refresh that adapter dot, there is a method called notify data set change. You can call that method. Okay, now you successfully perform some menu action, so you can return true here, return true. Okay, now in the default option you can call this method, you can return this in the default option. That means if the user does not use any menu option, this will invoke return super context item selected. Okay, now we can check the project. So run as Android application, run as Android application. Now open emulator. Okay, now the list view is present. Now I perform a long click on this item. Now this option is available, the context menu will appear. I click it. Now you can see that now that particular item is deleted from the list view. Now I make a long click on the mouse item and delete it. Now that item is removed from this list view. Yeah, it's working fine. Guys, this is how we working with context menu with the list view. I hope you enjoy this video. Thank you for watching. See you in the next part.